you'll notice that they're not out there saying that the audience are terrible people, that that society has condemned the movie because of the ethnicity of the character. They have went completely crickets, despite the fact that this film is coming in at half of what the usual live action big titles do. We're talking about Aladdin, we're talking about The Lion King, etc., Beauty and the Beast, but they can't be pleased with it. And I really do believe that when you look at the films that Disney has had fail and the way they've had them fail, every alarm bell has to be going off for Disney, whether they admit it or not. I think that the access media is shrieking at this point, but there's no getting around it. I mean, when you have The Little Mermaid probably losing the company something like $200 million, when you have Elemental doing the same, when you have Indiana Jones: The Dial of Destiny perhaps doing even more, they're looking at the Marvels, they're looking at Haunted Mansion and going, how much worse can this hurt us? You know, like, when does this stop? And I don't know when it's going to stop for them.
Pro, I think they're trying to rework the advertising or marketing campaign for Little Mermaid. Like, how can I get those racist money? I think that's what they're going with. They're going to try very, very hard to backtrack what they've said while saying, please open your wallet. And it's not going to work because it's bad. It was a bad film.
Well, you know, I'll pull this up on screen and let me mention this for the audience because I think it's important to understand, because I think we have a lot of new viewers here just in the last few weeks. People will take a cursory glance at something like this, and if you don't really understand how this works or how this business operates, you look at something like this and you say, because I see these comments every day so many times in my, on Twitter or on my video comment section, how can you call a movie that's grossed over $500 million globally a flop? It's like, well, because it costs $250 that we know of.
Yeah, Valiant. And if you knew anything about numbers, you'd know that if it cost $250 million and it brought in 542, then that means it's on its way to making $300 million. You dummy face head.
Mike, you're the math.
Exactly.
Math is racist.
You need to hashtag be better.
I don't understand how something that made $500 million could not be a success.
Like,
all
my
right,
God.
Explain to them how it works.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you're taking home maybe 55% of that domestic box office figure, and about 43% or so of the international, not including China. From China, you only take home 25%. Now, the good thing is for The Little Mermaid, China didn't go see this movie, like, at all. Like, about $5 million of that international box office is China. China said, own this movie.
And I don't even know if I'd be for. Here's the thing: is saying even 55% anymore is being probably conservative, because with what the theaters take now compared to what they used to, if they pull these movies earlier, they only usually are 50-50.
Well, this one's getting a full
and then
run.
You got to factor in stuff too. Well, this one might be, but you also got to factor in stuff too. Like, let's talk about Guardians of the Galaxy for a moment, because that might be one of the only ones you could consider in the black. Is it though? Possibly. How much? Yeah. How much did Chris Pratt get on the back end? How much did Zoe Saldana get on the back end? These are things that nobody ever thinks about. What else have we been learning in the last couple of weeks here? We've also been learning that these movies are costing $100 to $300 more million than what they're telling us, because they're just reporting the budgets. They're not reporting the actual costs, as you guys have been uncovering.
Budget is what we talked about, is what we hoped for, right? And like I did in the video the other day about Disney is blowing the budgets everywhere. One of the things I brought up, I reminded everybody, an article from 8 years ago from Forbes magazine, Guardians of the Galaxy, not Volume 3, not Volume 2, but original Guardians of the Galaxy. What was the stated budget? I can go pull it up on the numbers right now, but I'll just tell you. Y'all can go look it up. It's $170 million. Yeah. Guess what they actually spent? $235 million.
Can we just...
That was from the UK tax returns. So if anybody thinks that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 actually came in at $250 when the first one 8 years ago cost them $232,
yeah, no way.
I got a bridge to sell you somewhere. I mean, so...
And I was in a room with Gore before it had come out with someone who had worked on it. Again, it was reshoots, man.
Oh, and G3? Oh, yeah. All of these movies had reshoots.
I like with Ant-Man.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually the same person too.
Sorry about that, Paulie.
No. That's it. That's all I wanted. So just going off with backing up what VR says about these budgets, man. Who knows how much these movies really cost?
I do have a thought, and for anyone from Disney who's listening, because we know you're listening, I got a brilliant ad marketing campaign for you. It's called Blame Aquafina for the failure of my movie.
How do you do
Well,
that?
she's
Just
the
put
only
her in
reason
it.
nobody went to see Renfield, from what I can tell. So
Oh, God.
I liked that movie a lot.
I know you did. It's like
That's
your
why
secret
Shang-Chi
lover.
has no rewatchability for me, to be
I've
honest.
never
And I mean,
watched that.
I love Tony Leung.
haven't
I
either.
love Michelle Yeoh, and I'm like, I cannot watch Shang-Chi.
Dude,
again
I
because
was
of
out after the
Awkwafina.
first 5 minutes when that one dude's fighting a whole army of CGI guys. I'm like, how did people compare this to Bruce Lee movies? Bruce Lee never fought a cartoon.
If
Well,
you've
they've
never
never seen
actually
it, Bruce
seen,
Lee. So
yeah,
they've
that's
never
just
seen
it. If you've never actually seen Chinese martial arts movies or Japanese martial arts movies, then I guess that looks good to you. I got
But
a whole
according-
library of real stuff. It's like I
But
watched
according-
Shang-Chi and I'm like, that's cute, you know.
According to Simu Lee, like Lou or whatever his name is, Simu
Mm-hmm.
Lucy, he's never had a kung fu movie in Canada, so he doesn't know what the hell. So he wouldn't know.
Whoa,
there's
ho,
that.
ho. Are you sure?
I don't know. That's what he said, isn't it? Right before the
It was a joke. I was just trying to get the.
asphyxiation.
No. I didn't watch it, nor did a lot of other people, it sounds like.
No, but I mean, look, this is where we're at right now with this kind of stuff. I mean, with Little Mermaid the way it is, with Guardians of the Galaxy, with Ant-Man, with $100 million over budget on Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, which is what we found out in the past week. And we talked about this, Tom. I think you and I over a year ago, whenever that movie came out in May of last year, and they $200 million production budget. I'm like, there's no way. There's no way on earth they did that movie for 200 because they had 6 weeks of reshoots, 6 days
That's
a week
just
for
it,
6
yeah.
weeks between Thanksgiving and Christmas of 2021.
Well,
A
what
few
else
months
did we learn?
And then that didn't include all the VFX they had to redo after they finished the 6 weeks of reshoots. Victoria Alonso's not there anymore, folks.
I was just going to
She got
say,
the fall of the sword.
who is the person that is probably the most responsible for this? Again, it's not just her fault, but that was her MO from what we had heard. She would order a bunch of reshoots, which would in turn require a bunch of special effects work, and these guys and gals would be overworked the last portion of the run. Because see, that's the thing is, I seen somebody post it the other day. Why is a movie from 1993, Jurassic Park, look better, the CGI look better than a movie from last year or this year? I said, here's why. Because Jurassic Park had 63 CGI effects shots. The latest Jurassic Park movie had over like 3,000
I was about to say
effects
3,
shots.
yeah,
Like, there's the difference right there. That's why they're doing too much.
Yep.
Instead of concentrating on a few things and making them look good. And then, and again, these artists are getting upset because they're like, this is our work going out there looking like shit. Again, pardon my French, but that's exactly how they put it, because they get 2 weeks to work on something they normally would get 6 weeks to work on, or even longer.
Mm-hmm.
And these guys on the other end don't realize how much work goes into this. It's not just, you just clip a few buttons and it changes it. No. You got to go back and rebuild it all again. It's not just,
I heard that so many times
thing,
when I still did a lot of portrait photography and things like this on the side. And I still do it because it's just a hobby and a passion because I enjoy it when I can. But you'd always have, you'd have the model or you'd have their mom or somebody like that. If it was a senior picture, can't you just fix this in Photoshop? No, it looks a lot better if you actually come prepared and have yourself ready to go and have it done in camera. And as a matter of fact, we actually have Victoria Alonso's a clip from her final human resources interview.
What would you say you do here?
And that was it. She was gone. Yeah. But
she's a people person, Valiant.
I work with people. What's wrong with you people?